Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Red Devils. And Ruben Amorim has just given the most chaotic and hectic press conference that we've had, I think, from him. Definitely cracks starting to show, to me, unfortunately. And you can just see that the Manchester United manager is not in a particularly good space, and actually a bit of a clash with the media, which is not good to see. Although, having said that, to be fair, I think it was kind of baited into it in terms of people almost sort of turning what he's saying onto Harry Maguire sitting next to him. And this is kind of the problem as well when it comes to Europa League, because you've got player coach type of thing. And so when things are going really badly, like they are for Manchester United, you've got this environment where people can put really big pressure on a Ruben Amorim and be able to sort of leverage the player next to them to try and sort of force a reaction. And unfortunately, there was a reaction. So it doesn't look good, to be honest, in terms of what was said, and quite concerning, even without the reaction and the bit of a clash. Some of the things Ruben Amorim was actually talking about, and the fact that basically admitting the players are nervous. He tried to justify basically the whole worst Manchester United team ever type of comment. But just general wasn't a particularly well controlled and very measured press conference. I mean, he laughed a couple of things off, but I don't think that he would have left that building with his stocks being raised, for example. I think he came across the manager under a lot of pressure, almost sort of fighting for his job, almost sort of fighting to prove that he is not panicking, that he is good enough to be there type of thing. And you don't want to see that. But unfortunately, this is indicative of where the team is right now and what's been going on. So we're going to have a look at exactly what he had to say and kind of sort of react to it a little bit
I was talking more for
in
myself
terms
than
of
my.
you know, what he had to say, whether it was the right thing to say, the wrong thing to say, and the likes of this. So this was his first sort of opening statement.
I was talking more for myself than from my players, because I was talking that, and you have to find out a coach that starts a job and lose 8 games, I think 7 games in the first 10.
So basically, what he was referring to there is the whole calling it the worst Manchester United team, basically saying that he's not referring to the players, the worst Manchester United players, for example, ever, but he's talking about himself, where he is, having lost all these games, so many games early on. That's kind of where the criticism comes.
So it's more for me. I was talking more about me than the players. I also talk in the same response about I was not helping my players. And if you look around, every time I speak, and I speak a lot, every time you push about the players are not good enough, I never put the spot on my players.
So you can see basically trying to sort of justify his comments, basically trying to say that he wasn't trying to tell his players, and he's always behind his players. He doesn't like to put his players down, talk about the fact that they're good enough, and I think he likes to he does try to sort of shield at times some of the players, but I think a lot of the time things sort of tempers kind of boil over, which I think is kind of what happened over the weekend. He even admits this kind of he said a similar thing to the players in the changing before.
So I understand. I gave you that headline, and I'm frustrated sometimes, and sometimes I should not say that in that terms, but it is what it is, and that's it. Sometimes.
Yeah, I think he knows it. He knows, and I'm sure the PR behind the works and the likes of that would have said, Nate, not probably the way we should have gone about it. Probably not what you should be saying off that kind of result. Probably not the way to really endear yourself to the players, to the fans, to anyone really. So I think admitting there that he got things wrong, unfortunately, not ideal though. And I think this is the big thing. A lot of pundits have been jumping on, the media have been jumping on, because it's amazing how I think he admits it. I think this is a big learning curve for him. And obviously, this is also difficult in terms of a language barrier. He's now doing majority of his press conferences in English versus Portuguese. I mean, he's fluent in English. It's not like that's an issue. But just in terms of the nuance, in terms of the way you sometimes phrase something, and maybe, you say something quite quickly without everything thinking it fully through, and it comes back to haunt you.
Sometimes it's really hard to hide the frustration in some moments. But the good thing is that I said the same things in a different way in the dressing room 5 minutes before. So the response was quite normal, because I'm really blunt with my players. And they train well. They are ready for this game, and let's see tomorrow.
Sorry. So I think basically, I think it's going to come from admitting that there was a pretty big and pretty stirred chat with his players, and that there was this potential fallout that we're sort of hearing about where TV was damaged, I think it sounds, the more you hear, the more it sounds like it did happen. And, what's going to be very interesting to see
Move on from Brighton
what
and put
the
things right.
response is itself. But this is then the next part of the press conference that I kind of want to look at, because this is where things did not go very well for Ruben Amorim. And I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult. You got your back towards the wall, for example. You are in a position now where things are going badly. People are now starting to question you. And again, Harry Maguire was kind of asked, why are you guys so bad? Basically, what's happening? And what sort of led up to this whole incident really was Ruben Amorim spoke about the fact that he was asked about them being nervous at home. And he said that we are definitely more nervous at home than we are away. He said at the moment where we are with, not getting the results, the fans putting a lot of pressure, and, the team is very nervous. And basically what he said was then turned on to Harry Maguire, and he was asked very, very, blatantly, does this help? Hearing your manager say that you guys are nervous and stuff like that, does this help? Do you want to be able to hear this as a team? What does that do to the dressing room? So Ruben Amorim laughed it off when it was immediately put to Harry Maguire what he had said and asked how he felt about it. But he then obviously felt that he needed to say something himself. And this is kind of the reaction we got.
I didn't say I was nervous. I said the team was nervous. I was frustrated. Frustrated is different from nervous. And if you say it's good for the players see the coach frustrated, maybe not. But I didn't say I was nervous.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at Harry Maguire there, so uncomfortable with what's going on. Not ideal for him at all. And I think that it's frustrating because I think Ruben Amorim's not gotten this really right, and you can kind of see how awkward of a situation this is.
Something I can start to do that is easier for me. But what I'm saying is that, and they know, and you can understand the game. If you are in the stadium, you can understand. So let's face it and work on it. But I'm not nervous. I'm frustrated.
Move on from Brighton.
So basically trying to very much come out and say that he's not worried, he's not nervous, and he's kind of still in charge. So not an ideal press conference, in all honesty. I think there shows there are cracks over there. The first time maybe we've kind of seen that kind of emotion. We've seen him look quite rattled in many ways. And this is what the job does to you, isn't it? This job takes no prisoners. And we've seen what it's done to so many other managers before. Let's hope that this is just a bit of an awkward press conference. Doesn't really sort of come back to haunt what we really need now as a result. And I don't necessarily think what he's saying is wrong. And I think this is an interesting thing. What he's saying is right. I think the team is definitely nervous. There's definitely nerves out there. And we're not playing well. But should you be saying it, for example? Should you not be saying it? Do you want to beat around the bush? Maybe the players need to hear it. But at the end of the day, we basically need to do whatever we can to get results. And we're going to find out what the response is going to kind of be from a press conference like that. Well, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.